In this life, nothing is certain except death and taxes and running injuries. Last September, I picked up this GoPro and decided to start making running videos for fun, really. At the time, I was carrying a back injury, or at least I was coming off a back injury, starting to feel a little bit stronger. These are shots of me trying out my Vaporflies in advance of a couple of big races that I had planned, the Great North Run and the Great Scottish Run. I knew I wasn't going to be able to go all out on both of them, but my back was starting to feel a little bit stronger after an injury moving furniture, and I felt up to it. My plan was to take this camera to the Great Scottish Run for an easy run and to go all out at the Great North Run. Neither were easy, and I was still injured at the time, and I kind of regret going all out at the Great North Run. I was injured and it hurt my time and my body. If you run for long enough and hard enough, you'll get injured at some point. It just happens. And this year I had every intention of continuing to make videos at a higher rate than I had last year. But sure enough, I'm injured again. My back once again has failed me. No furniture moving this time. I was playing football on Monday night and started to feel a niggle during the game. I woke up on Tuesday morning, barely able to sit up. It's extremely frustrating as a runner. If you're anything like me and running helps you to sort your headspace, then it's going to be really frustrating when your body lets you down. So here are a few tips on how to deal with injury. Not from a medical standpoint, but from my experience as a runner and what's helped me. First off, there are a couple of things you can do to avoid injury. The first one is cross-training. Now, ironically, I picked up my injury playing football, which is a form of cross-training, but exercising muscle types that you wouldn't ordinarily use on long, slow runs is super important. I get back injuries because I'm a skinny guy and don't spend enough time in the gym. I should be building up my strength so that my body can deal with the long distances that I put it through, and I haven't this time, and I'm paying the price. Cross-training could be any other sport or weightlifting. You could get on the bike, anything that helps to diversify the strengths that your body has. Running relies on more muscles than your legs and more organs than your lungs. You need to strengthen everything. The next thing you can do to reduce injury is listen to your body when it gets to that breaking point. I knew on Monday that something wasn't right with my back, and I continued to play anyway. It's hard to walk off the pitch during a football match, especially when there isn't a substitute readily available. But realistically, if I was injured, no one would have complained in our casual Monday night football game if I walked off. Having said that, it's easier said than done. Dealing with injury is extremely difficult for me. Running helps me to organise my thoughts, and when I lose the ability to do that, that's my thing, that's what I like to do in my spare time, it takes its toll. So dealing with it is difficult, but there are a couple of things you can do to help. The first thing is to remember that injury is part of training. If you're in the middle of a training block and you get injured, it can be extremely frustrating and it'll feel like a setback. But it's part of training and everyone has to deal with it. It's as much a part of training as tying your shoelaces. It just happens. Which leads me on to my next point. When you're injured, take care of yourself. There's lots of times that I've been injured, and just because I can't make parkrun on a Saturday morning, I'll have a couple of extra beers. It doesn't help my body recover. I'll enjoy the beers, but it does mean that I'm paying the price and it'll be harder to come back from the injury when I do get running again. So look after your body when you are injured. The same goes for sleep. If you aren't sleeping right, you're not going to recover correctly. So it's sound advice. Your diet and sleep will help you to get back on your feet faster. The next thing I would talk about in regards to recovery is don't rush back. It's dependent on your injury, but when you do get back to running or you feel as though you're up to getting back to running, don't go in hard. Start with your easy runs, reduce the distance. Your body's taking a hit, remember, so going back in at your 25-mile weeks might not be the wisest thing to do. Take it easy and feel your way into it. Listening to your body can be tricky, but you have to. You only get one. The last thing I would touch on in regards to injury and recovery is keep yourself busy. Running is an important hobby of mine. And I'm kind of obsessive about it at times, but you need to have other things going on. Just because you're injured, you shouldn't lose your only outlet. And it can be hard to remember that when you're sulking because you can't run 12 miles in the rain on a Sunday. Your injury will pass and you'll be back on your feet before you know it. You just have to recognise that this is part of being a runner. So yeah, thanks for watching. I don't normally do videos of this type, but I'm probably going to be doing more. As soon as I'm back on my feet and able to run again, I'll be making more content, so I'm looking forward to that. Let me know if you've had any injuries and how you've dealt with those injuries. Any advice that you've got for lower back injuries is more than welcome. I can barely stand up at the moment, which is why I'm sat in this chair. But fingers crossed I'll be back on my feet next week and we can get going again. Thanks for watching. Cheers.